How are we doing? I'm doing great because today we're talking about Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally by Harry Styles, his fourth album. Finally, it's been a long time, and yeah, it came out and I'm gonna be talking about it. I'm sorry again for filming in the evening without good lighting, but in case you haven't seen my previous two videos, I've been sick. I had a really bad cold this past week, and even though I'm better now, I'm so behind on things because I couldn't do anything while I was sick that this is the first time I'm getting around to filming this. I'm sorry. Also, I have new glasses. Do you like them? I like them a lot. It's my first time filming with them. It's a bit strange, but I can see myself with these because they're very different frames from my previous ones, but I'm obsessed. Anyway, let's talk about Harry Styles' new album. At first I was very excited about this when it first got announced, but I wasn't the biggest fan of Aperture, the lead single, so I was a little bit nervous about this, but I am still very excited to talk to you about it. I only have had the chance to listen to it once, so that's what all my opinions will be based on in this video. So let's get started with a track by track breakdown, starting of course with Aperture. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of this one. I also don't dislike it. It's just that it's a bit of a strange song and I never know how to feel about it. And like, it's been out for a month now and I still don't know how to feel about it. So then we have American Girls, and I thought it was quite fun, very danceable, but the vocals on it just felt very flat to me and I wasn't the biggest fan of that. But for the rest, I thought it was a fun song and definitely my hopes were starting to get a little bit higher. Then we have Ready Steady Go. I loved the vibes of this one. I don't know, which is another one I couldn't sit still to, and I loved the production on this, but again the vocals just left something to be desired for me. But I was dancing around while listening to this, so it's not like a big complaint just yet. Then we got Are You Listening Yet? And there's another one that I love the vibe of. It feels like it has like a little bit like anxiety of like hurry to it within the melody, and I think it really fits well with kind of like the message of the song. The spoken parts feel a little bit jarring, but I definitely think if I listen to this more, I'll get used to it more and I'll like it more. But yeah. Then we have Taste Back. This is another great track. It has like that little bit of sassiness to it, a bit of attitude, but it's again a vibe, and something about it, vocals still just remain so emotionless to me, which makes the impact of the song just not hit as well as I wanted to. But a great track besides that. And we have The Waiting Game. This one is a bit more of a mellow song. It has a lot of vulnerability to the lyrics, more so than some of the other songs, and I quite liked it. I liked the song in general as well. So there we go. There we have Season 2 Weight Loss. And I gotta be honest, this is the only song on the album I don't like. I feel like the production on the song sounds all over the place and it just sounds messy to me. I know that for a lot of people this is their favorite and it really works for them, and I've even seen people say that this is the song where the album clicked for them, and I don't know, to me it sounded a bit like a mess, and it was hard to keep like different elements of it separate because everything just was overflowing and stuff like that. I wasn't a fan of it, which is a shame because I do think kind of like the message of the song is great, but I just feel like get lost in the sauce, you know? Then we have Coming Up Roses, and kind of complete opposite is my favorite of the album. I just adore the strings on this song. It sounds so beautiful. It's very stripped back within, you know, this whole album that's very production heavy. It's just like a nice reprieve in between things, and I previously talked about how I was how I was missing like emotion on the vocals, and this has it to it tenfold. It's so beautiful and so stunning and has a bit of like a magical quality to it. It's very mesmerizing and I love it a lot. Then we have Pop, and this one is so fun, so catchy as well. I just had a blast listening to this, and I definitely can see this having like massive hit potential if it gets released as a single maybe. So let's hope that's in the future. Then we have Dance No More, another really fun song and I really couldn't sit still to, and a lot of sing-along potential in this one, but it also has a deeper message if you like really look into the lyrics. So I really like that like combination, and I definitely think this is one that live is gonna pop off, so I really like it. Then we have Paint by Numbers. This is another one that's a bit more stripped back and a bit more emotion heavy, and I really liked it. I think this is such a stunning song, and I love kind of like the metaphors it uses to kind of like describe fame a little bit. I thought it was great. And I'm already wrapping things up with Carla song. And this song is just one that kind of like builds to 1930, and it starts like very mellow and like a bit sad, but like the more it continues on, the more happy and hopeful and upbeat it gets. And I really love that build throughout it. And I feel like message wise, even the song is just like a perfect way to conclude this album. That, yeah, I really liked it. And yeah, in conclusion, when it comes to my overall thoughts, I really liked this album. I didn't think, definitely didn't have to be as nervous as I was going into this, because I definitely don't think Aperture was a great representation for how I ended up feeling about the album as a whole. It's very different from anything Harry has done before, while still very much carrying his signature, if that makes sense, and I really like that. I think the strength of this album for me, though, is in the lyrics. I feel like the things he talks about on this album are, even from like the small discussions I've seen about this album, are very much flying under the radar. I feel like everyone is focusing so much on the production of this album, which makes sense because it is a very production heavy album as well. But the themes he's discussing on this album is just, the way he does it, I think, is great. And I feel like that's also where my main gripe with this album comes in, is that I feel like it gets lost because of the very heavy productions, which are great, but I feel like his vocals just are very monotone, and I guess it's a stylistic choice that I can get behind. And I feel like if I do listen to the songs more, I will get more used to it. But I do think that is contributing towards the fact that a lot of these like themes aren't coming home, if that makes sense. And I just feel in that sense it is sabotaging itself in a little bit, at least when it comes to like my listening to experience to it. Like I said, I do like the production of it, because I do think that it does some like fun things, some things that are a little bit atypical for Harry's music, and I really like it. And it's a very fun album sound-wise, not necessarily thematically. I feel like thematically it's like very like balanced out with like very positive songs and like a bit more philosophical like sadder songs. But I feel like sound-wise it is a very like danceable, fun album, and I don't know, I do really like it. And I do think ultimately, even though I do like think it is missing a mark on an emotion a bit, I do feel like it has enough moments in it for it to keep this album sounding from too samey. They were Coming Up Roses and Pay My Numbers, so it's like nice breaks between like songs that otherwise could maybe feel a little bit too samey. So I do think this is a well thought out album, a well crafted album. I just think there's just so much to this that I still need to get used to, and that might grow on me as I listen to it more. But overall, I do like all of these songs except Aperture, which I don't know how to feel about, and Season 2 Weight Loss, which is just not my thing. But like all the other 10 songs on this album I do really like, and I'm very excited to listen to it more. And maybe if I'm not sick, it might also work better for me, who knows. But that was my experience listening to it, so is all I can give to you. But let me also give you my top 3, which at number 1 is Coming Up Roses, which is Surprise to No One. And number 2 we have Pop, and at number 3 Paint My Numbers. But definitely ranking this was difficult, because I said I do really like all of these songs. I'm very curious to see what your favorites are, because from what I've seen online, there's no like common favorite, if that makes sense. I'm very excited to see what other people's responses to it are. And yeah, that's everything I have for you today. Leave your thoughts on this whole album in the comments down below. I would love to discuss, especially like, I mean, I always do, but I feel like especially with this album, that's my thoughts are so all over the place of. I would love to just discuss it with you, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Good, bye.
Here I am again, the same old situation. Why does the God thing have to be so complicated? Should've played it cool.